board, but Dan. Thank you. Thank you, Robin, and thank you, Elliot, remotely for fixing our storage issue.
There were 4 ex-mayors plus a former committee member who were at Annie's service on Saturday. We will genuinely do this.
Yes, yes, and I was with Steve earlier that morning, so I was able, once again, Steve and I go way back, so it was more of a personal connection with Parker and Walker family for me. And just for everyone, Ms. Roden is a former Township Committee member and a former mayor of Bedminster Township. Thank you for your comments, Mayor Roden. Any other comments from the public? Yes, Mr. Roden. And since we're being recorded, name and street address, please.
Yes, Michael Roden, Spencer Lane. Let's see here. Good evening.
Good evening.
I believe it's been 2.5 months since the last attended committee meeting. Did I miss anything? August 25th, I asked the mayor if he would put the dog water table on the agenda. Got a call a few hours later from Mr. Mastro Buono, telling me the Recreation Committee rejected the water table. I attended the Recreation Committee meeting on July 18th. There were 3 Recreation Committee members present, 2 appointees, 1 alternate. From the dog park community, there was Barbara, who brings Scott and Baby to the park, and myself representing 50. I gave them the same presentation I gave this committee. Recreation Committee Director Neil Mastrobuono explained to the committee that he still had to follow up with some veterinarians about the possibility of spreading germs. Having heard the concerns about germs, I immediately offered to take the bowls out of the donation to the township. The atmosphere of the meeting was very friendly. Barbara and I were asked, "Where do you live?" I went on to tell them that Spencer Lane backs up to Mount Prospect, that the road is divided between Bedminster and Bridgewater. I explained how Somerset County open space is on the south side, going all the way up to the scenic overlook on Route 78. On the north side, it is the start-finish Bedminster open space Lot 59, which is a nature trail that is yet to be developed. Mount Prospect is a nature trail itself. There's so much to see in spring and fall. I would have liked to go on and tell how the natural flow of water down the street is filtered through the fall leaves on the side of the road. That the stream flows on the north side is the headwater for the Petersbrook. Water on the north side flows down from Castle G in the Highlands, adding to the flow into the Petersbrook. Wanted to add that county land offers a potential parking area where an old barn was that could provide parking access for potential trails through Lot 59. Lot 59 is donated open space from the Hills Development Corporation. The land abuts communities of Stone Edge, Edgewood, Knollcrest, Four Oaks, Long Meadow on the western side, and many neighborhoods of the Hills Highlands. As I understand it, Bedminster has a maintenance agreement with Bridgewater. The road is plowed by Bedminster Department of Public Works and was repaved on the upper side 6 to 7 years ago. The lower section, which ends at the entrance to Stone Edge, was repaved a year later. Department of Public Works used to weed whack the grass on the south side 2 times a year, but of late the Stone Edge Association landscapers have been mowing the grass. Looks pretty good, if you ask me. The road is fairly maintained up to the water pump house. Past that, the road is only used by Bridgewater residents. This upper section, because of its design, deteriorates quickly. I do not know if Bridgewater financially helps in repaving costs, but it would be nice if the upper roadway was patched. Anyway, I was asked where I lived, and it is off Mount Prospect Road, which is Greenway going up the Watchung Range. Though I live in a multi-unit neighborhood, my backyard is an aquatic greenway with as nice as any residential, private residence is what I wrote. I had a different word that I want to use, but whatever. Okay, where was I? The dog water table, I digress. I have no idea how the proposal was presented to the Recreation Committee, if they were informed that the bowls had been taken out of the donation. I do not know how they voted, as it was deferred for lack of quorum. The vote was not public, yet the Recreation Committee said no. What will the township plan be? How will you provide a safer water bowl area, one that is not exposed to stone, dust, and insects? Grass level is unlevel, and according to some, full of germs. Is there a plan to provide a concrete surface with a well of crushed stone underneath to facilitate drainage and prevent puddling and mudding of the area? I kept hearing at the dog park meeting about pack it in, pack it out. Township-owned water table for the dog park would be no different than the soccer and lacrosse nets that are permitted to remain over a season or more. The ordinance for the dog park covers things like removing your bowls and toys. It asks you to fill in holes that your dog may dig, but there's no material available to fill the hole with. Owners have resorted to using rocks as fill. Township has a vision of an interpretive center that restricts expansion of the dog park. The vision of this building includes toilets, a septic system, and running water. It should be noted that the 2020 Recreation Needs Survey has several requests to improve the dog parks. Running water should be the first phase plan if this vision moves forward. A well with a hand pump would be a benefit to the dog parks. Are there any commitments to the dog park improvements this year to be completed yet? To recap, the Recreation Committee said no to the water table. There's no water source at the dog parks. The current situation with water bowls at the park is unsustainable. When I first brought up the proposal with Ms. Ray, it was stated that it was the Township Committee's determination to accept or reject the donation of the water table. The Recreation Committee director called me to come pick up the donation as the committee rejected it. I feel this committee, the Township Committee, has been observed by a subcommittee that was tasked with providing an opinion when this was tasked with providing an opinion to this committee, and should be the one. This committee should be the one making the decision about the dog, about availability of water at the dog parks. Thank you. My next statement is basically has to do with the agenda tonight. Are we going to take questions on the public hearing of ordinances and resolutions?
We take public questions on ordinances.
And the resolutions just go by, and so then I should ask about resolutions at this point?
You may.
Okay, so was wondering about I tried to look some of these things up in the on the website. It's kind of difficult because they're not, resolutions aren't really posted, I guess, until afterward or whatever. But I guess one of them was the contract for the restrooms, that trailhead compositing restrooms. I was just wondering what that value was and where those bathrooms were going. The other resolution was the qualifying purchase agent to amend funding sources for resolution 134 on the contract to Aramco Recreation Company. I was just wondering if when you got to that, you would actually tell us what the change in funding sources would eventually be. And then my biggest question was the execution of professional services contract with Nassau Capital Advisors, LLC, for payment in lieu of taxes, pilot study, feasible study. That was a big question. You know, someday when something comes up that you're going to officially offer a pilot on, or you're going to say, oh, well, this was all discussed in public meetings. Well, this is where it starts. Why are you hiring this person? Thank you very much.
You're welcome, Mr. Roden.
Did you miss me?
Of course, we always welcome guests and participation at the Township Committee meetings.
We enjoy it. Keeps it lively.
Seeing no more public comments, we will move on with the rest of the meeting. Approval of minutes. Actually, before we get to the approval of minutes, I do want to raise two issues. It's really just a recitation of some events that I went to over the last week. So this morning, the New Jersey League of Municipalities sponsored a program for, actually it was a Q&A session with Mayor Janice Mironov and Mayor Colleen Marr, who also happens to be the Somerset County Executive Director. This morning's presentation was on legislative changes as we approach the fourth round of affordable housing, and looking for suggestions from the mayors on issues to take to the legislators. So I want to thank both Mayor Mironov and Mayor Marr for their organizing this. Some good comments coming out from the other mayors, and all the other towns are in very different positions. For some, it was environmental constraints. For others, it was affordability issues. And for Bedminster, we have a number of issues as we approach fourth round. And we gave some comments back to the League of Municipalities, which they will take to their groups to go further consult with the legislators. And then last week, Somerset County Commissioner Director Chanel Robinson organized a meeting up at the mansion at Natarar with the Somerset County Film Commission. And so this was bringing municipalities, the county representatives. There were folks there from Hunterdon County as well, and introducing them to location scouts for both film and television production. We're there for sort of the networking session, and then I left. There was a 4-hour bus tour that I opted not to attend. That was going to take some of the location scouts across Somerset and Hunterdon. JVH was one of the stops.
Oh, good.
It wasn't a stop.
It
was more of a drive-by. So
That's okay.
they did have a bus, and they were taking folks around, and some of the folks did talk about the filming that had been done in Bedminster over the last several years, including Goodnight Mommy. And so we got another opportunity to promote Bedminster at that meeting. We have two sets of minutes to approve: the October 2nd Township Committee meeting and the October 2nd Executive Session meeting. Any comments or questions regarding the minutes that have not already been provided to Ms. Ray? Seeing none, take a motion to approve those minutes.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you.
Abstain.
We have three. Please note that Committeeman Stevenson
I
is
noted it.
abstaining
Thank
from
you.
the minutes. Permits and raffles, 3 permits and raffles. We'll move on with the first one, which is a social fair permit to benefit Friends of the Clarence Dillon Public Library on November 4, 2023, from 6 a.m. to 7 p.m. at the Pingree School's Pottersville campus. Any questions or comments regarding that social fair permit? None. Take a motion to approve social fair permit for Clarence Dillon.
So moved.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you.
Next is a fireworks permit for a fireworks display scheduled for November 3, 2023 at approximately 9:30 p.m. at Trump National Golf Club. We do have with us Director of Security Rob Totten from Trump National. So Rob, if you can just come up. And Ms. Ray, regarding the fireworks permit, I think it's gone through review by the fire safety officer.
That's correct. Fire prevention, Steve
Fire
Dill has
prevention.
reviewed the permit and had no issues. Chief Bernardo is online and he can express his review.
No issues here.
Okay, questions, comments from Township Committee of Mr. Totten?
Just length of the fireworks display?
7 minutes.
Great, thank you.
7 minutes. Okay, so the permit application's been reviewed by Steve Dill, been reviewed and approved by the chief. Any further questions or comments regarding the fireworks permit?
It's been plenty wet out there.
Okay, seeing none, take a motion to approve fireworks permit for November 3.
So moved?
Second.
Oh, good.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you.
The next is thank you, Mr. Totten.
Thank you.
Thank you. Have a good night.
Thank you.
The next is a fireworks permit for a display scheduled for October 19, 2023 at approximately 9 p.m. at Hamilton Farm Golf Club. And we have with us, participating via Zoom, Renee Murillo from Hamilton. So Ms. Ray, similar question, has gone through Steve Dill's review.
That's correct. And we do get copies, I should add, of all of the letters that do go out to residents.
And Chief, it's gone through your review as well?
Yes, sir, no issues.
Any questions or comments? Colin, you want to ask him how long?
I just see it in here in the package.
Okay.
10,
Well, I can
15 to
ask
20
anyway.
minutes.
So Renee, that's 15 to 20 minutes?
Good evening, everyone. Yes, maximum is gonna be 15 minutes.
15 minutes. Okay, any further questions or comments for Renee? Seeing none, take a motion to approve the fireworks permit for Hamilton Farm Golf Club for October 19th.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you.
Okay, we're going to proceed to monthly report discussions by subcommittee chairs. Start with Committeeman Stevenson.
Thank you, Mayor. Good evening, everybody. I can personally attest to the fact that Steel Drive has been paved. Thank you, Kevin, and your team for that. Deer Haven was also paved. We continue to do work preparing for Fall Fest. JVH House has a nice display down there. Looks very nice. And we got the hike and bike path paved from the school to the AT&T Bridge. And we just continue to work on field layouts. HPC, no meetings coming up this month. We had a meeting last month. Nothing to write home about, just sort of garden variety applications going through. No meeting this month because there are no applications. So that's all I've got.
Okay, thank you. Speaking of the paving the hike and bike trail, so it's continuous all the way from the school all the way to the AT&T
The
Bridge?
first AT&T bridge, the only thing we need to do is the keyways to the footbridge, the wooden footbridge. We need to dig that out, but just to make sure that majority of the road, the pathway was paved prior to the 5K. We wanted to make sure we did that, so at some point in time, we will be doing the keys, so it's even going to the bridge, that transition going up.
So for those who don't know, at Fall Fest, there will be the Bryce Rosen Memorial 5K. And Kevin took it upon himself to make sure that the hiking bike was in good shape in advance of the 5K. So just a little background information as to why you chose to get the work done when you did. So I think that's a great thing you did right there. So thank you.
That was great. Yeah.
Committeeman Hickey.
Thank you, Mayor. Good evening, all. Two quick updates. Board of Health, we have a meeting later this week. And just a reminder that the Board of Health in the county is sponsoring a free flu shot clinic on Wednesday, November 1st from 2 to 6 p.m. at the Far Hills Bedminster Firehouse. No appointment is necessary. Walk-ins are welcome. Thank you, Ms. Ray, for getting the word out on our website and through Bedminster Alert. Library Board, Mayor, I know we have a meeting this Wednesday, but I wanted to report back on some things we talked about last meeting. The library is conducting free ESL classes every week now. There are several classes for beginners and advanced students. We've asked the school to share that information on their Friday folder, and we've also distributed it through our own channels as well. Thank you again, Ms. Ray. By the way, Ms. G informed me that as of next year, these types of programs will be renamed MLL for multilingual learners. Just FYI.
Okay, all right.
Also, the Friends of the Clarendon Library will be hosting New York Times best-selling author Warren Zanes to discuss his new book, Deliver Me from Nowhere, The Making of Bruce Springsteen's Nebraska. probably the one album I don't own, and I may not be alone. The event will be held on November 4th at 6 p.m. at the Pingree campus in Pottersville, and registration is required. And that's all I have, Mayor.
So it is expected that the registration for the Warren Zanes, who is a musician himself, and he's also done a number of books on other musicians. I think he did what, Tom Petty?
Yeah, I think right, yeah,
something
yep.
along those lines. And one of the reasons that the Friends moved the event to the Pingree School is frankly for a larger venue, because that's how many people they expect to show up. And so for all the Springsteen fans that are out there, good opportunity to get out there, hear the anecdotes from Warren Zanes himself. They expect a good crowd. So thank you for that. Committeewoman Mareski.
Good evening, Mayor. Good evening, everyone. I have brought my shining stars to our meeting. I would like to present Bedminster's Environmental Commission. I know I've mentioned it before, but so whoever hasn't heard, the Environmental Commission has won ANJAC's 2023 Environmental Achievement Award. So I would like to invite Dawn Mark, the chair, and Debbie, please come up. And Whit is sitting in the back. He's going to just stay there. But
You can show it for the camera, please.
And Dawn and Debbie and I met down at Mercer County College and at the the ANJAC's congressional meeting. The ladies were awarded the award itself. And if there's anything you guys want to tell these guys about all the hard work you guys did for the pond.
I think you guys are all aware of how much work did go into doing what we did for the pond, because we had to present to you to get your approval to go ahead. So we would like to, first of all, I want to thank my EC. They always have my back, which is awesome. But I'd like to thank the township, especially Renee, because she's very supportive. And without you guys, we couldn't do what we did. So thank you.
It looks great.
It's amazing.
We'll find an appropriate
Dawn
spot.
wants to nix her crown. But it was wonderful at the meeting. I didn't get to take a picture of it, but the REC was the first one in a long line of award winners. So it was kind of cool that these two were the first ones to stand up in front of everybody.
And
Very proud of them.
Dawn, do you want to walk through the project at all? Or no, we've talked about it in the past, but if you want to give us another quick version
Do it
of
quick.
what actually you won the award for.
Well, basically, the pond was dying. It looked horrible. We had gotten several complaints about the smell coming off the pond. Our waterfowl weren't there anymore. Our swan went away. So it was time to at least sit down and just have a discussion of what to do. We did speak to Broward Headwaters. We spoke with Dr. Mike Van Fleet from the Jersey Strike team. And then we spoke a lot with Black Lagoon. So Black Lagoon is the township vendor, but everybody that works there are environmental scientists. So we just gathered all the information that we could. We came up with 3 options. Let the pond die. Do some enhanced treatment because it was just filled with invasive species, plant species. I don't know, maybe there could be bad fish there, I don't know. And then there was the whole dredge it out, aerate it, although we would consider maybe future aeration if we could get a grant on that. But that last project was starting at $450,000. So we came in, we gave you your options. The EC did recommend a 2-year trial. And you saw the before and after pictures, and it's amazing how quickly the pond responded. And the second year, they were able to lessen the amount of herbicides that they're using because the pond's responding so nicely. So they think going forward, we may get to the point that we would need almost no treatment if we can get it back to the state that we would in some natural plants things that will take over when these invasive species try to come in. So we're not sure how long that may take, but we will definitely keep you informed because we're not going to ask for stuff.
Great. Thank you, Dawn, and congratulations to you and the entire Environmental Commission. But you're not supposed to interrupt.
I am so
Well, you're being congratulated. You're being congratulated. You take the congratulations.
You made me come up here.
Yes.
I did want to give a special shout out to Deb Taglieri because Deb saw that we could potentially go for this award. And I'm like, yeah, we're not gonna get the award, blah, 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 blah. And her and Laura talked us into it. And so I thank you for that.
Thank you, Deb, and congratulations, Deb, on putting the grant, the award application together, the nomination. And thank you to all the members of the EC who are here tonight and to all the members of the EC who aren't here. So thank you again.
Thank you very much.
Well done.
And that's all I have.
And that's all you have. Committeewoman Fernandez.
Thank you, Mayor. I just wanted to, like we previously mentioned, just make an announcement that the Bryce Rosen Memorial 5K Fun Run and Walk will take place on Saturday, October 28th at River Road Park. Registration is from 9:30 to 10:15, and the start time is 10:30. Thank you to Kevin Murray for straightening up the hike and bike trail. T-shirts will be provided, and donations are suggested to benefit the Morgan Stanley Children's Hospital. And that all takes place before our annual Fall Fest Community Day here in Bedminster. So Fall Fest is Saturday, October 28th. I am praying for no rain since every weekend has been monsoons. And it's from 12 noon to 5 p.m. There'll be music by Not Enough Jeffs, entertainment, food trucks, beer and cider tent, games, activities, hay rides, emergency vehicle demonstrations, pony rides, petting zoo, pet show, scavenger hunt, business and community groups. There are currently, I think, 35 or 25 exhibitors. Let me look. I know, I just didn't have it written down. And then there's also 15 sponsors that we'd like to thank. So that's coming up. Everybody say the date, 25 exhibitors. And that's all I have.
Great. Kevin, while we're on the subject of Fall Fest, from your end, from DPW and all the other site work, once again, I think Doug had mentioned the hay bales out there, or the hay rounds on 206. It does look great. Thanks for putting that together. Once again, that was Kevin inspired and Kevin initiated. Thank you. So well done there. Any other site improvements that you see forthcoming for Fall Fest?
We're redirecting the hay wagon ride, so it's not so long this year. It was pretty long last year, so hopefully Whit'll drive the wagon for us again this year. And then, but that's really the only site improvement. We're hoping for wonderful weather and anticipating and needing to use the overflow parking this year, which was already cut. We filled the lots last year, so I feel pretty positive after the success last year. We're going to definitely go to overflow parking. Great. So we did. We're working with PPAC and Gladstone Public Works for additional resources, so they're assisting us big time as well. So
great. Thank you, Kevin. So from my subcommittee report, as Colin mentioned, we do have a library board meeting later this week on just a quick comment about the farmers market. As Gina mentioned, we've now had, 6 weeks in a row of rainy Saturdays, or forecasted rain for Saturdays. And the forecast for rain seems to have almost as great an impact on attendance as rain itself. Been scaring people away, so our numbers are not over 1,000 or 1,200 or 1,400 that we were seeing earlier in the year. This last rain event, we hit 200.
207.
207.
Who's counting?
Yeah, so, we were wet, but we were there, our vendors were there, we still had customers show up. Whit was there, so thank you for coming out there, Whit. So once again, hoping for better weather. There's no farmer's market this weekend for the races, and we've got enough traffic problems without getting our vendors and our customers stopped in the traffic for the races.
And it's rain again.
It's supposed to rain Saturday.
Just really? You had to go there?
Yeah,
Both of you?
so nice.
There you go. Fall Fest, right.
Mhm.
So, which
getting it all out.
brings me to the other subcommittee, which is Land Use Board. So at last week's Land Use Board, there were two hearings. The first was a Board of Adjustment application for Crossroads for Hope. For those who don't know, Crossroads for Hope is the new name for what used to be the Cancer Support Community right there on Burnt Mills Road. They had a minor application. I think they were just shifting some doors and windows around. That was approved. And then the second application, a little more interest in that one, is a planning board application for the advanced property on Route 206. That's to build a headquarters space for an international pet food company, as well as some retail elements as well. So that hearing will continue on, and the next time it will be heard will be at the November 3rd Land Use Board hearing. And that's what I have for my subcommittees. So Ms. Ray, we'll proceed to Administrator's Report.
Yes, Mayor. Just a quick note. I was speaking with Meredith Hammond from the DOT. She's our regional coordinator for Bedminster Township and Somerset County. The bridge construction on Route 202 between Bedminster and Far Hills is on schedule. She was just sharing that that's anticipated to begin in the summer of 2024. Prior to that, this was prompted my phone call, in spring of 2024, they're doing a tar and chip, or chip and seal program, I should say, that's going to go from 202 at the split down to Sunny Branch Road and Far Hills, but they're not going to do the bridge area.
So that's on schedule for summer of 2024, which is a slight delay from their 2018, 2017 timeframe.
So they're chipping and seal the road first, and then they're going to rip up the bridge and do construction beginning September of 2024. And the other item I wanted to report on is Sarah Hausman, along with Kevin Murray, worked really hard to enter some items that we were no longer using here at the municipality, rather than sending them down to Somerset County to be auctioned. They joined an online service, and we actually sold $32,153 worth of items, which goes right into the township's municipal funds. So that was a big plus. So I just wanted to say thank you to Kevin and Sarah for working on that.
Great. Thank you, Kevin.
And that concludes my report for now.
So while on Administrator's Report, Chief, there was some vehicle noise over the, what was that? Was that Friday?
Friday night.
It was Friday night. Chief, you could just give us a quick update on that incident. It's reminiscent of something that happened, I want to say it was last year, but.
I think it was in the spring of this year.
You think it was the spring of this year?
Yeah.
So Chief?
Yeah, sure. So probably around 11:30, Bernards asked for help and assistance. They had reports there was over 100 people out of vehicles under the overpass of 287 near Mount Airy Road. There was reports people throwing fireworks off of the overpass, doing donuts, revving engines, burnouts, playing loud music. So we sent assistance to them. They cleared that up, and then eventually those vehicles made their way into Bedminster. It impacted traffic on Lamington, Main Street, 206 and 202, 206. We had, at that time, there was probably Far Hills units, PPAC units, Bernards units, our units in the Sheriff's Department. They were able to use their PA systems to direct the vehicles out of town. So it lasted probably around an hour between the start in Bernards until they got out of there into our town and then out.
Any, no injuries, just complaints, noise complaints? Can you,
No injuries, no reported accidents, no property damage. And we're fortunate in the Somerset Hills areas that all of the police agencies work well together. We routinely back each other up, and we have an excellent working relationship. We're also fortunate that we have a well-trained professional staff. Sergeant Greenstein and his officers, with the assistance of those other agencies, they were able to handle a really bad situation and deal with it in a professional manner. And as a result, other than the loud music and things of that nature, there was no property damage, nobody got hurt, no accidents. So they did an excellent job, as far as I'm concerned.
now, is that something that the prosecutor's office investigates or monitors social media for gatherings like this?
Well, nothing initiated in Bedminster. They don't really advertise the route. They start somewhere and then just follow the leader type of thing. So there was vehicles from out of state in the mix. What's that?
Is this just like a pop-up road rally that's announced? Yeah.
Yes, that's exactly what it is. There was vehicles from Pennsylvania plates and out of state plates. So who knows where they even originated from?
Okay, well, thank you again for, and to the Bedminster Police Department for handling the situation, and to all the responding agencies in the Somerset Hills. So please express that to the chiefs of the other agencies that responded. Thank you, Chief. Any questions on that subject for Chief Bernardo?
I guess my only question would be, is there any way to preclude it in the future or dissuade them from showing up here, go somewhere else?
Well, they don't really advertise they start somewhere, they don't advertise a route. So there's really no way to know exactly where they're coming from or where they're going.
Cameras, anything like that we can use to, find the offenders and send them hefty speeding tickets? I mean, I don't know. I'm just trying to think of a way to discourage repeat performance.
Well, you're talking 300 plus cars and maybe 6 officers. You could send a couple of tickets in the mail, but there could be between 300 to 500 cars. It's kind of, at that point, you're really just trying to mitigate the problem and get them out of town versus writing a few tickets. That's my feeling.
And Chief, I heard a rumor they wound up in the Santa Fe / AT&T parking lot. We're doing burnouts and donuts there. Is there any truth to that?
I know they were doing burnouts all over the place. I'm not sure about that specific location.
We just say Santa Fe AT&T.
Bridgewater. I'm sorry, excuse me. Yes, correct.
Okay.
Not Bedminster.
I mean, they did go down to 202, 206 into Bridgewater, so that's very well possible. But I mean, I'm sure our officers let Bridgewater know what was coming.
Okay, thank you, Chief.
Thank you.
We have one ordinance to introduce, which is ordinance number 2023-019. This ordinance would appropriate $12,000 for turnout gear for Powdersville Volunteer Fire Company. If we move forward with the introduction, the public hearing will be scheduled for November 6, 2023 at 7 p.m. here. And once again, this is within the appropriations that we allocated for during the budget session, so it's nothing new. But this is the ordinance that would actually provide the funds. Any questions before we take a motion to introduce? Seeing none, I'll take a motion to introduce ordinance number 2023-019.
So moved.
Second?
Roll call vote, please. Mr. Stevenson?
Aye.
Mr. Hickey?
Aye.
Ms. Moraski?
Aye.
Ms. Fernandez?
Aye.
And Mayor Jacobs?
Aye.
Thank you.
With the introduction, the public hearing for ordinance number 2023-019 will be scheduled for November 6 at 7 p.m. in these chambers. So we do have one public hearing tonight, which is ordinance number 2023-018. This ordinance amends the revised general ordinances of the Township of Bedminster, Chapter 9, entitled Sewer and Water, to add Section 9-6, privately owned salt storage. So I'll take a motion to open the public hearing for ordinance number 2023-018.
So moved.
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you.
Okay, so I believe we've discussed this previously during the introduction. This revision to the ordinances is actually prescribed by New Jersey DEP. This is a form ordinance. Our engineer, Paul Ferrero, has reviewed the ordinance and made sure that it is consistent with the DEP version. And John Bellardo, you've also reviewed the ordinance and find it consistent with the same ordinances that other municipalities have adopted.
I have, Mayor, and in fact, Berners adopted the identical ordinance at its meeting last Tuesday night. It is an ordinance that towns are required by Trenton to adopt, for better or worse.
So previously, DEP had looked at municipalities and other governmental agencies to do some maintenance on salt sheds. Then what DEP is now doing is saying, you know what, municipalities, you also need to do the same with any salt storage on commercial properties. So this ordinance would require private owners of those commercial properties to have certain requirements for salt storage. Obviously, water quality being first and foremost in DEP's issues, that they don't want this salt during normal conditions running off into the waterways. So there's not a lot of discussion for us, since we actually have to comply with the DEP requirements. This ordinance is consistent. It's similar to, well, it's identical to ordinances that other municipalities have adopted. And our engineer and our attorney say there's really not much leeway, or actually, let me rephrase that. There's no leeway in moving forward. However, if anyone has questions or comments from the Township Committee, you can direct them to Ms. Ray or to Attorney Bellardo. Seeing none. I will open up the public hearing for public comment. So if any member of the public has any comment regarding ordinance number 2023-018, now's your opportunity. Mr. Roden.
Want me to come forward or just?
Yes, so that we can pick you up on the microphone.
I was just wondering how this information is going to be conveyed to some of the condominium associations in town that do salt storage for the winter. That's all.
John Bellardo, and good question, Mr. Roden. John, what did you guys do up in Berners Township?
I don't think it was discussed or asked, so if it is being conveyed to the associations, that's something that's being done internally at the staff level. It was not the subject of public comment during the Township Committee meeting last week.
Well, it's certainly something that we can do here. Ms. Ray's nodding her head.
Yeah, we have a distribution list that we reach out to all the property managers and make them aware of this upon adoption.
Okay, that's good to know. And otherwise, that would fall with Committeewoman Reski and maybe the EC chair to spread the news about the forthcoming ordinance, if it is so approved.
In Crestmont, we have salt buckets, which is an exempt part of the ordinance because they're already pre-contained. But I don't know that everybody does the same thing. But Robin reaches out, we'll follow up.
Okay, any other questions from the public regarding ordinance number 2023-018? Seeing none. Any further comments or questions from Township Committee? Take a motion to close the public hearing for ordinance number 2023-018.
So moved.
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you.
And we'll take a motion to approve ordinance number 2023-018.
So moved?
Second?
Roll call vote, please. Mr. Stevenson?
Aye.
Mr. Hickey?
Aye.
Ms. Moreski?
Aye.
Ms. Fernandez?
Aye.
And Mayor Jacobs?
Aye.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 resolutions on the consent agenda. And this is the opportunity for the Township Committee, if there's any questions that they want to discuss specifically about a resolution, now is the time to do so. I will take up Mr. Roden's suggestion and put 2023-137, so we can discuss that separately. And I will also do the same for
45.
48. So anyone else have any questions or comments they want to pull off 135, 142, 143, 144, 145?
Excuse me, Mayor, I think he also asked for 145. It was the amending of the funding.
I know that's
source
what
as
he
well.
asked for, but these are what,
Oh, okay.
these are what I want.
All right.
Yeah,
All right.
exactly, right. And I think 145 is just you're swapping out someone's
It
name,
is.
so that's, yes, that's. Okay, seeing none, I'll take a motion to approve items A, C, D, E, F, G, H, and J on the consent agenda.
Second?
I'm sorry, Ms. Stevenson?
Yes.
Thank you.
Second.
Roll call vote, please. Mr. Stevenson?
Aye.
Mr. Hickey?
Aye.
Ms. Moreski?
Aye.
Ms. Fernandez?
Aye.
And Mayor Jacobs?
Aye.
Thank you.
Okay, so we have no other items on for resolution, so we'll go to resolution number 2023-135, which is authorizes the award of a contract to
137.
137, I'm sorry, 137. Thank you, Doug. The award of contract to Clivis Multrum. Is that a real company?
Mayor. Yes.
Really?
I believe they call themselves Clevis.
Clevis.
I'm pretty
Do
sure.
you think that's better? You think that sounds better, Clevis
Told me
Multrums?
that's how they answer the phone.
Colin almost sounds like a Seinfeld joke.
Yeah.
Okay, so who do we turn to? Turn to Kevin on this?
I can touch on this.
Okay.
This was part of the Somerset County Recreation Grant that we did. No, not Somerset County.
Oh, yes, it was, the recreational improvement grant.
Yeah, recreational improvement grant, which was a 50% match. So 50% would be coming out of open space, the other 50% was a match from the Somerset County Recreation Grant. And one is going over closer to the farmer's market area, and the other one is closer to the dog park, I believe, in that parking area that would be between the last ball fields and the dog park. So one on each side of the park. Well,
Questions, comments?
It was a DCA grant,
DC grant, sorry.
Department of Community Affairs.
So one composting restroom goes by where the farmer's market, that trail, or I guess that corner by the baseball field.
Yes, correct, sir.
And the other off by the dog park.
Correct.
So one on each side.
Okay. That's it? Questions, comments? Okay, seeing none, take a motion to approve resolution number 2023-137.
So moved.
Second.
Roll call vote, please. Mr. Stevenson?
Aye.
Mr. Hickey?
Aye.
Ms. Moreski?
Aye.
Ms. Fernandez?
Aye.
And Mayor Jacobs?
Aye.
Thank you.
So next is resolution number 2023-148. This resolution authorizes the execution of a professional services contract with Nassau Capital Advisors for payment in lieu of taxes feasibility study. So first off, this is not authorizing a payment in lieu of taxes. This is This is with respect to the KRE project on Burnt Mills Road. They are exploring a financing package through HMFA, the Housing and Mortgage Finance Authority. In part, this would allow them to take advantage of some beneficial financing. At the same time, they would have to up the amount of affordable units provided through that project. That same HMFA financing also encourages the owners for the expansion of affordability to go pursue a pilot with the municipality. So we do not have a lot of pilots in Bedminster. In fact, the only one that I can recall is the Pluckman Park Senior Housing.
Mhm.
So this would, if it were to proceed, this would be the second. But before we would even entertain a pilot, the first thing is, well, what are the finances? How is this going to work? How is this going to work for Bedminster? Certainly would not recommend a pilot if this doesn't turn out to be a good deal for the township. So Nassau Capital Advisors is a firm that specializes in working with municipalities and other jurisdictions regarding evaluation of pro formas and evaluating the way a pilot would be set up and making a recommendation whether or not this is positive or not for the municipality. We would anticipate that the Nassau Capital would be working very closely with Mr. Bellardo and our tax assessor, and all the fees associated with this contract would be paid through by an escrow to be established by KRE, the developer of the Burnt Mills project. So this would be at no expense to Bedminster or Bedminster residents, and this is merely evaluating the finances to see if it makes sense for Bedminster to continue those discussions. Any further questions or comments? John, do you have any comments you'd like to make?
I do not, Mayor. I think it's a prudent move. Nassau has expertise in this area and will make recommendations to the Township Committee concerning whether this is a feasible project from a tax standpoint for the township.
Okay, thank you. So if there's no other questions or comments, take a motion to approve resolution number 2023-148.
So moved?
Second.
Roll call vote, please. Mr. Stevenson?
Aye.
Mr. Hickey?
Aye.
Ms. Moreski?
Aye.
Ms. Fernandez?
Aye.
And Mayor Jacobs?
Aye.
Thank you.
Thank you. We have no other resolutions on tonight's agenda. We'll take a motion to approve the bill list pending review of individual invoices.
Second.
Roll call vote again. Mr. Stevenson?
Aye.
Mr. Hickey?
Aye.
Ms. Moreski?
Aye.
Ms. Fernandez?
Aye.
And Mayor Jacobs?
Aye.
Thank you.
And new business. Do we have any items that Township Committee members want to put on for discussion for new business? Old business. Ms. Ray, when you were on the phone with Meredith, Ms. Hammond from DOT, did we get to discuss anything further about the visual aggression of the multitude of DOT signs on routes 202 and 206?
Well, it's just a reiteration of what she had told me before. There were two engineering teams that made the assessments, one for the crosswalk of the mid-block crosswalks and the other for the speed and traffic signals, traffic signs. And they were able to narrow down the 6 to 5, and that's where it stays at this particular point. After the chip and seal is when we should start to see some work on the mid-block crosswalk down in Plaquemine.
Down in Plaquemine. So the chip and seal is going to be up in the northern section.
That's correct. It's going to go from Bridgewater all the way to Sunny Branch Road and Far Hills.
Oh, okay. I thought you said it was at the split.
Oh.
Got it.
No, it goes, I'm sorry, I meant it starts in Bridgewater.
Okay. So that chip and seal is going to come all the way up.
Correct.
So 20 is interesting because as part of the KRE approval, they're supposed to make certain improvements
On the,
to the
yeah. Intersection, geometry.
Intersection, the
Yeah.
geometry, new
Yeah.
lighting,
Yeah.
new crosswalks.
Yeah.
And I believe DOT has already issued or is on the verge of issuing the final permit for that. So hopefully,
There's some
you would imagine that DOT would know, but I would imagine maybe they don't know.
That's why I called, because I didn't understand the timing of it all, especially with the bridge project. But apparently there's some stormwater regulations that have a say in the chip and seal project. That's what's driving, has to do with street cleaning.
If you can send me an email with that timing,
I shall.
this way I can talk to both Somerset County and KRE that we can, and certainly with Kevin, to make sure that we get those road improvements done in a fashion that doesn't interfere with the chip and seal, and similarly that the chip and seal doesn't interfere with the intersection improvements. Okay, thank you. Move on to utilities.
Mayor, just a couple of quick updates. JCP&L on Wednesday, October 4th, representatives from Bedminster and JCP&L gathered at River Road Dog Park to plant shade trees, several of which were donated out of JCP&L's forestry fund. Mr. Roden, you inspired us back in the spring, I think you mentioned shade trees, so that was fresh in mind when we had the opportunity to take advantage of that grant from JCP&L. Many thanks go out to our rec director, Neil Mastrobuono, our DPW director, Kevin Murray.
This is a Kevin Murray night.
It's all about,
This is
like I
a
said, he's
Kevin
an
Murray
action hero. Kevin was there, and his foreman, Jason Randolph, and Lou Moore. Our EC, wait, he left? Did Whit leave?
He did.
Whit was down in the dirt, digging holes to put these trees in. I wanted to thank him, so I'll have to thank him individually.
Send him the link.
There you go. And also our JCP&L team of Yolanta Maziarz, her forestry group, Madeline Mateo, Jody Kendig, and Anthony Darrow. They were all on site to help with the dig. We've already received a lot of positive feedback and hopeful that the trees take root and grow quickly. Whit was instrumental in choosing the varieties that would be disease resistant and hopefully grow very fast. So we're pretty confident.
And what were those?
There was an elm, a maple, and the other two I do not know.
No, that was a trick question. I didn't really expect that.
But believe it or not, I did get that question and I queried Whit and he knew immediately. Because he picked out those trees.
Well, he's a forester.
He does a great job.
He gets to do that. Anything further on Altice or
Yes.
New Jersey American?
So Altice construction on the fiber project is continuing in 4 Oaks, proceeding smoothly. I've received some feedback. It's actually the same feedback from their board president that we got last time from Rich Costa across the street. Basically, Altice is planning and coordinating their efforts carefully. There have been no surprises, which is always the goal with a project like that. So that work will continue until the hard freeze, probably late November, early December, and then they will resume in March with the additional construction. Like I said last time, 17 of the 21 associations have signed up for the upgrade, and I am waiting on the construction schedule for who comes up next.
Okay, thank you.
One more thing.
Wait, hold on. On Kevin, with the rest of the pavement management plan for this year, is there any further coordination that you need to do with any of the underground utilities?
So currently Fowler Road has just popped up on our radar for PSE&G as well as New Jersey American Water. I've been in contact with Brad Fagan, the Public Works Director, and feedback in Gladstone. He's been working on mirroring our payment in lieu of paving for half of the roadway for the whole section of Holland, as well as negotiating on both our behalves to get PSE&G, since they're running in Bedminster, to pay for half of the road and for resurfacing, and then New Jersey American Water to pay for the feedback and Gladstone side, so we can pave that road in conjunction together, that first 1,000 or 1,200 foot. That's
And that line comes up Holland Road out of P-PAC Gladstone and just goes a little bit onto Fowler?
Probably 1,000 foot.
1,000 feet, okay,
Yeah.
that's it, okay.
I'm from understanding though, they are interested in extending the water line and the gas line, water line further down Holland, closer to Spook Hollow, and I heard the gas line, they're talking about expanding it down Spook Hollow. I haven't gotten confirmation on that, but that's what.
I take that's at private expense?
I would imagine so.
Someone down one of those roads
So I
wants
reached
gas.
out to the project engineer
That's
today.
Gas.
I reached out.
You know what that's
Skill one, I
like.
guess.
You know what that's like, right?
Yeah.
I reached out to the project engineer today, so I'm trying to get an answer back on how far the extension is going to be.
How about for the other roads, Bedminster Village section, or any other, what else is coming up?
So
on
I did the
master plan?
PSCNG, I sent in our work prior to, or what we anticipated on paving this year prior to them doing any work. I know Miss Ray's been talking about getting gas at her house, but short of that, the only other extension line is Old Stone House, which has not started. I believe there was some issues from talking to some of the residents about sending your payment into one location and your application into another. Some people put everything in one. I guess that got straightened out now. So it sounds like that's going to be moving forward. I don't have a timeline for that project.
Okay, so going down Old Stone House and Cheetah, your area,
No, well,
Nothing.
ours not getting gas, so, they just paved our road, so,
Just Old Stone.
so it's just Old Stone House?
yeah.
And those
Okay,
residents have lobbied and come together so they can get the line down there.
Yeah,
They're all paying a hookup fee.
a substantial amount of money.
okay, all right. Well, thank you for that
Progress.
update. Okay, I'm sorry.
No, that was it. We want to
That
talk
was
about New
it?
Jersey American Water, yes. So the only other thing we know is, I think, Kevin, they told us today, 10 weeks pending a pre-con meeting. They want to get started as quickly as possible.
And 95% of that work is going to be.
Gonna be in-
Really 99%. The only thing that's going to be in Bedminster is the run across the roadway to the Sioux Colony
Right.
Farms.
Okay. All right, then that's it
That's
for
it.
the
Yep,
utility
yep.
section. Doug, I know you and John probably will be having some offline conversations on the Pelican Park issue, so that's not for public discussion. We do have an executive session tonight, so we'll go through Township Committee comments. We'll adjourn to executive session. We are not taking any formal action when we come back to the public session other than adjourning for the night. So let's go through Township Committee comments, and then we will head into we will head to the executive session. You're more than welcome to stay to watch us close the meeting, but that's all we're going to do when we come back. So let's start with Township Committee comments with Committeeman Stevenson.
Thank you, Mayor. It was great to have our EC representatives here today to get that award. I did nothing in this whole project, and I want to just let that be known as before I make this comment, because I don't want to sound like I'm hijacking anything, because I'm not. It was all you folks. You did a wonderful job. But I want to just share with the public that this issue was raised to me by a fisherman when we were going door to door. Okay, this is why we do this. Went door to door at this gentleman's house. He said, I really enjoyed fishing at that pond back down there. I can't do it anymore. I can't even throw my line in the water and get it back without having it filled with kelp or whatever the heck it is, vegetation. And I took that and went to Robin. I said, who we're using? Black Lagoon. We turned it over to Black Lagoon, EC, and then off, and we're running, and the results come in. So sent a note to this gentleman, Tony, said, just so you know, years ago, you mentioned this to me, and, we got this award, and he was very thankful. He's very appreciative. And again, to the EC for everything you did. But that's the way it's supposed to work, right? You see something that you would like to see improved in town, or you see something that's not right in town, mention it, because maybe the folks that are making these decisions aren't aware of it. So again, a little piece of, going door to door, getting a piece of information, taking it to the powers that be, and then converting it for the quality for the, for the entire community. That's great government. And I think from top down, from the resident right up to the volunteers and everybody in between, super job, great job. Proud to be part of it, even though it was a little bit.
Well done.
It's on the website.
Congratulations, Doug.
Yeah,
Well
it's
done.
on the website homepage. Top of the line, top of the fold.
Committeeman Hickey.
Thank you, Mayor. And just to mirror what Committeeman Stevenson says, I mentioned this last week, but it bears repeating. The EC has gone from a rubber stamp body years ago to now a group that's programming all kinds of different events and interesting things for the community, as well as taking action on a major project. And I heard the same comments when I was knocking on doors. The smell alone, as you mentioned, Dawn, was, deterring people from enjoying, the pathways and using the pond.
If they're driven by smell, maybe they can take on the sewer project. John, you want to take that on?
Yeah, EC
That's a
needs,
great idea.
you guys need another big project now. No, but thank you, seriously, great job, as always, much appreciated, all your efforts, so thank you.
Committeewoman Mareski.
What can I say? They're my guys.
Aw.
They've worked really hard with the pond, and I wasn't actually a big fan of the project, to be honest, because I kind of wanted it just to go back to natural and not spend a lot of money that we didn't need to spend. But Dawn and the group found a way to do it that was economically feasible, and it's worked in a short time, 2 years. It's beautiful. And Black Lagoon is gonna make sure it stays that way, and they're dialing it back, so it won't even cost us as much in the upcoming year, so it's phenomenal. It is our gem. And I think they're looking for another project, and maybe the Stall Pond, but I don't know. So I'm so proud of them, and I just want to let you know that we'll call up JBH, the chair, and have her take down that flag. But as Robin said, the new ones are coming, but I think it's a good idea to take it down in the meantime. So thank you guys for coming, to us and having all these comments. It really helps because I can't see the flag when I go to a meeting at night. It's like, I can't tell. So thank you so much, and thank you for your service to the town.
Thank you, Committeewoman Fernandez.
Yes, I'd just like to reiterate what everyone's saying. I know nothing about ponds, but Dawn has come here and kept us informed and offered us options as far as, steps to take, and it's really been such a success story. So I'm very eternally grateful for all your contributions to Bedminster and our pond and everything you do for our towns. Thank you so much for that, and the award is well deserved. And also just, it is Kevin Murray night, so I just want to recognize Kevin for all his progress. DPW is moving forward on so many projects, and from the residents on Deerhaven Road that we finally got our road paved, half of our road paved. The other half was already paved, so now everybody can drive on both sides of the road. Usually people would tend to drive only on the paved side of the road, so that's even more safe now than when you walk the dogs or whatever. But anyway, thank you for all your hard work. That's all.
So first off, October 28th, Fall Fest.
Yes.
And want to, in anticipation of it being a fantastic day as always,
Sunny.
appreciation to Ms. Robin Ray, whose initiative led many years ago, she was like 19 or so,
I feel like it was
brought
19
us
then.
to the event we have now, right? 3,000, 3,500 people going through,
Mhm.
4,000?
Close to 4,000, I
Close
think
to
we
4,000
calculated
going
last year in
through.
parking.
Tremendous job, and really all hands on deck. And thank you to all those who were associated with Bedminster Charities. But honestly, I think placing it into the hands of Bedminster Township and the Recreation Committee and Jean
Neil.
Fernandez
Oh,
and
maybe,
Neil
yeah.
Mastrobuono, and to all the Bedminster staff that's been helping. Just what a great job you guys have done with it. I know it's a lot of work, but just what a great opportunity to bring the town together.
Absolutely.
And so Elizabeth, I want to thank you all for that. Couple things as we talk about what the EC has done, and also what the Board of Health has done. At the beginning of the year, I sort of go to each of the committees and ask, right? Colin made the comment about, for years, EC sat there, would review applications that might be going before the land use board. And usually by the time you got the application, the hearing had already happened and there'd already been an approval or denial. And, you're sitting there after the fact, like, why are we even doing this? So when I asked you at the beginning of the year, like, do more. And this goes back to the EC when Colin was the chair, when Tim Walter was the chair, when Renee was the chair, and continuing today with Dawn, is that the EC is not content to review applications, as you said, a rubber stamp of waivers or environmental assessments, but they're doing so much more. bat night, moth night, taking on these projects, looking for more projects. This is really what we expect from up here of these volunteer positions. And Colin, you mentioned Board of Health, another board that I went to, right? And right, okay, you guys can review septic applications every month, and that's what you can do. But you're the Board of Health. You have a wide spectrum of opportunities and projects available to you. And we started seeing it, right? So the Board of Health, working with their associates down at the county, the county has ready-made projects just to run out, and one of them is flu shots. So it's a great opportunity for the Board of Health to take ownership. And, you know, the term I used earlier was initiative, and that each of those board members can move forward with an initiative, and if they're ready to champion, to do so. And I think we've mentioned a nutrition.
Look at nutrition.
Yeah, so it's really great to see. And this, I think, is a shining example of the EC taking a project over, and the Doug Stevenson pond looks much better now than it ever has.
It's the Dawn March pond.
All right, okay, the Dawn March. So once again, this is a tremendous example, and EC certainly leading the way on these initiatives, so thank you, Dawn. That's all I have. It is 8:21. I'll take a motion to adjourn to executive session. Once again, we will return to public session, but we will be taking no formal action when we return. So for those who showed up tonight, thank you very much for taking time out of your schedule to come and visit us. And with that, I'll take a motion to go to executive session.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you.
Thank you, and we will be back. It is 9:23. The Bedminster Township Committee has returned from executive session. As we indicated earlier, we are not taking any formal action following our executive session. We'll take a motion to adjourn for the night.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you and good night.
Good night.
Good night.
That was a good one, Mayor.
That was good. Square.
Now I'm awake.
Thank you for your report.